broadcasting across the nation from the East Coast to the West, keeping you up to date on technology while enjoying a little whiskey on the side, with leading-edge topics, along with special guests, to navigate technology in a segmented, stylized radio program. The information that will make you go, Pull up a seat, raise a glass with our hosts as we spend the next hour talking about technology for the common person. Welcome to TechTime Radio with Nathan Mumm.
Welcome to Tech Time with Nathan Mumm, the show that makes you go, technology news of the week. The show for the everyday person talking about technology, broadcasting across the nation with insightful segments on subjects weeks ahead of the mainstream media. We welcome our radio audience of 35 million listeners to an hour of insightful technology news. I'm Nathan Mumm, your host and technologist with over 30 years of technology expertise. Our co-host Mike Rday is in the studio today. Mike's an award-winning author and human behavior expert. Now, we're live streaming during our show on 4 of the most popular platforms, including YouTube, Twitch.tv, Facebook, LinkedIn, and we paid for the high-end subscription for X, so we're back on X streaming our show.
Why?
Well, because if people wanted to get a hold of us that way, I decided to give Elon Musk some money, so there you go. Now, we do encourage you to visit us online at techtimeradio.com and become a Patreon supporter at patreon.com/techtimeradio. We're friends from different backgrounds, but we bring the best technology show possible weekly for our family, friends, and fans to enjoy. We're glad to have Odie, our producer, at the control panel today. Welcome, everyone. Let's start today's show.
Now on today's show.
All right, today on Tech Time with Nathan Mumm, buckle up as we dive into the latest technology news and stories. Here's what we got coming up for the show today. Today is our spooky Halloween episode, and like clockwork, we have Nick Espinosa on the show to talk about the scariest things in technology in our haunted Halloween episode. First, is Netflix Moments really what they say it is for? To share your favorite scenes with friends. We're also going to be talking about this Chinese aquarium that's stunned to discover that their whale was zonkers. All right, well, then we dive into an issue plaguing the BBC weather website, which caused quite a stir. And guess what? Robot vacuum speaking to you from the grave. Is that possible? Yes, it is. Now we're going to discuss how these things happen and more. We also have Gwen Way on for a gadget. Is this going to be a trick or a treat gadget? Finally, we explore the development of a possible Skynet system, just like the Terminator movies. In addition, of course, we have our standard features, including our technology fail of the week, a possible Nathan Nugget, and of course, our pick of the day, whiskey tasting, to see if our selected whiskey pick of the day gets 0, 1, or 2 thumbs up at the end of the show. But now it's time for the latest headlines in the world of technology.
Here are our top technology stories of the week.
All right. Welcome to our top technology stories of the week. Number 1, Netflix is having a moment. But its new feature, Moments, is not one of them. Let's go to Corinne Westland for more on this story.
This week, Netflix launched a new feature called Moments that allows subscribers to share their favorite moments from the platform's massive library of content. The only problem is, it doesn't actually do that. Here's how Moments, currently available for the iOS app and coming soon for Android, is meant to work. Subscribers can tap the screen at any time while watching Netflix content on their phone and find a Moments tab in the bottom left corner. They then have the option to hit save and capture whichever scene they're watching, either in a library of saved moments, accessible in the My Netflix section of the app, or in a message or social media post, which they can send out by tapping the familiar paper airplane-shaped icon beneath each moment. The problem, though, is it is not that simple. Nathan, can you explain your experience more? Back to you in the studio.
It doesn't even sound simple when it spells it out.
That was the easy version. So let me just see. So Netflix. Now, I hope that this actually takes on and they has to have some development work. I do want to say I love your hat before I get into the story. I love it. It's our Halloween episode. I got Mario here, and you know what? Odie behind the board's got Luigi. So
she's even got a stash going.
All right, now let me just tell you. So Netflix, their hope is to ideally have a system where if I'm watching a Netflix show, let's say Stranger Things or something on Netflix, and all of a sudden I wanted to share it with you, I could click on, here's a clip, share 30 to 60 seconds of that clip. You could then watch it on like Facebook or whatever platform you have, and then you could laugh at it and we could all comment about it, right? Well, that's not how it happens to work.
Netflix talk?
Yeah, I mean, because you see memes all the time, right? Little 30-second memes of The Office, and the idea would be a cool idea. But here's the problem that you have. First of all, you can't really share 30-second clips online. When you share it, it just starts at that place that you share. Both of you have to have, of course, a Netflix subscription, which is what they're trying to have happen to everybody, to get a Netflix subscription so that everybody has their service. You both have to be on the phone with the iOS app right now. So I can't have, if you have an Android phone, which you do, and I have my Apple phone and I send it to you, and you clicked it on Facebook, you'd be hosed. So you have to have the same Apple. And then what happens is when you actually click on it to share it, all it does is it shares a link. Now, YouTube, have you ever shared a video on YouTube? You can start it at like 30 seconds in, 20 seconds in.
Why not?
This is a feature that YouTube's had for maybe 10 years or something like that. I mean, it's not a new feature, but you could go in halfway in a video, you click share, you share it starting at 32 seconds, and then the person watches it. This is all that Netflix has, but it's so complicated that it just isn't opening up a web browser. You have to actually have the app, you have to be logged in, and you have to have their special on your phone app only to work. So let me just tell you, there's too many ifs and thens to have the system work. It is absolutely not easy to use, but a great idea. So this is what I want to say to Netflix. Unfortunate, your Moments link that you have right now is not easy to use. No one's going to adopt it, but keep working on your technology. It's not like you're just one of the third largest media companies in the world. But if you were, then
should
maybe
it be called minutes.
They should be minutes instead of moments. Keep on working on this. Make it so it works. Please go to YouTube right now, see how they have it done, and figure out a way to do it so that both people have a subscription and can have it work. And I think you have yourself a system. But until then, Moments is not a shining moment.
I think you should just not do it at all. Just stop trying.
Stop trying.
Yep.
But did you do hear Netflix does have Squid Game coming out at the end of this year?
Big deal.
Squid Game too? Okay, well.
I did not even watch the first.
You didn't watch the first one?
I don't have Netflix.
So if I showed you a link, you'd just be tough. Or you'd just be like,
well, yeah, I guess it sucks to be me.
Well, no, that doesn't know.
Or it sucks to be Netflix. I don't know. Maybe one.
All right. Well, there you go. So Netflix, keep it up, but swing and a miss this time. All right. You got story number 2 here, Mike?
Yeah. You remember that show, Max Headroom?
I do remember Max Headroom. Max Headroom.
Yeah. So this is the first thing that popped into my head when I read this. But in Poland,
yep,
a radio station has replaced its journalist with AI presenters.
Okay.
And that's not drawing a lot of happy news from the public.
Okay.
A Polish radio station has triggered a lot of controversy after dismissing its journalists and relaunching this week with AI-generated presenters. Weeks after letting the journalists go, OFF Radio Krakow relaunched this week with what it said was the first experiment in Poland in which journalists are virtual characters created by AI. I'm not a cat.
Oh, I remember that, yeah.
The station in the southern city of Krakow said its 3 avatars are designed to reach younger listeners. The change got nationwide attention after a journalist and film critic who until recently hosted a show on the station published an open letter Tuesday protesting the replacement of employees of artificial intelligence. It is a dangerous precedent that hit us all and to a world in which experienced employees associated with the media sector for years and people employed in creative industries will be replaced by machines. So here it comes. Skynet is on the move. Dymski worked at OFF Radio Krakow from February 2022, carrying out interviews with Ukrainians fleeing the war until August, when he was among about a dozen journalists who were let go. He said the move was especially shocking because the broadcaster is a taxpayer-supported public station.
Oh, like a PBS station, huh?
Yeah.
So a PBS station decided to replace all their staff.
So America wasn't the first.
No.
Poland actually decided they were going to take the first swipe at replacing human beings with live avatars.
So this is only going to go so far, right? I mean, we like having a personal connection with people, right? I don't want to be turning on King 5 News, our local news affiliate. I'm going to see a bunch of AI people on there.
Well, that's why I thought about Max Headroom, because I remember that back in the day.
Yeah.
And Max Headroom kind of is this idea of AI people.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, it was cool back then. It's not that cool now.
Not when it's actually happening. All right. Well, we got story number 3 here. Just when you thought it was safe to go back into the water park, angry fans ripped an aquarium after its much hyped giant shark was not what it seemed to be. Just when we thought it was safe to go back, all of a sudden we have a deep fake that was announced at the Show Me World in Shenzhen, China, which opened on October 1st, following a 5-year renovation. So this was the Show Me SeaWorld in China was shut down for 5 years. They did a bunch of renovation. Now, during the week-long dry run of the 645,000 square feet of Ocean Zoo that attracted over 100,000 visitors, paying $40 to enter, guess what they had? The exhibitors were talking about a big whale shark exhibit that was over 60 feet in length. However, many felt cheated after they realized the so-called regal sea beast was actually just a mechanical doppelganger. Well, there you go. There you go. So all of a sudden, it was just sent to nothing. Now, photos taken from the tank glass show the fishy robot, which sports obvious gaps in its torso where its segments have been connected, evoking a prop that looks like a cheesy sci-fi channel shark movie. Aquarium reps claim that they created the robotic whale shark to adhere to laws prohibiting the trade of genuine artifacts. This is definitely a Halloween trick on most of those that attended.
Yeah, that's funny.
Well,
It's not funny, but it's
so
funny.
you're going to go to a zoo in China, and you're going to see dogs dressed up as pandas. And you're now going to go to an aquarium, and you're going to see
A robot dressed up like a shark?
shark. Come on now. Clearly, people aren't going to go and pay money to see a robotic shark. That robotic shark probably costs more money than it would have to have 2 or 3 of the real life sharks in there running and doing stuff.
I have to applaud them for going out of their way to do something to, save the wildlife, because I don't know if you know what a whale shark is. It's the biggest fish in the world.
Okay.
Right? So, they should have said that's what they were doing.
Yeah.
Or maybe they should have
Just said that they had a
talked
big
to
robot.
Universal Studios and, gotten what was it,
Josh,
Bruce or Bruno?
Yeah, Bruno from the.
Was it Bruno?
Is that the Nemo one? Is there
No, the shark from Jaws. What?
Oh.
It has a name. I can't remember what it is.
I don't remember Jaws, but I think Bruno's from
Bruce.
Bruce.
Yeah,
That's
Bruce.
right. That's all right.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay. Well, that ends our top technology stories of the week. When we return, Nick Espinosa from Security Fanatics will join us to discuss the scariest technology items this year for our spooky Halloween episode. You will definitely be frightened. Stay tuned to find out this information and more. You're listening to Tech Time with Nathan Mumm. See you after the commercial break.
This is Mark
And Greg,
for Copiers Northwest
with a terrific offer.
called Printer Care Plus.
It's simple. Buy HP printer cartridges from Copiers Northwest and we'll service your current printers for free.
That sounds too good to be true.
It's made possible due to our HP Copiers Northwest relationship.
Copiers Northwest is an HP Platinum partner.
One of only 2 in the entire Northwest.
And now with Printer Care Plus,
Copiers Northwest will provide free printer service.
as long as they purchase genuine HP cartridges from Copiers Northwest.
That's right. IT departments no longer have to service printers.
Or fix paper jams with Printer Care Plus.
They can focus on more strategic initiatives.
And let our experienced technicians keep their HP printers up and running.
Sounds like a love-love relationship for IT departments.
Don't get too carried away. So how do they get more details on Printer Care Plus?
Call Copiers Northwest today, 206-282-1200, or visit copiersnw.com.
Copiers Northwest. New ideas, new solutions.
Welcome back to Tech Time with Nathan Mumm. Our weekly show covers the top technology subjects without a political agenda. We verify the facts, and we do it with a sense of humor in less than 60 minutes. And, of course, with a little whiskey on our side. Now, today, Mark Gregoire, a whiskey connoisseur, is out trick-or-treating. So we have to get our whiskey from our producer, Odie.
Hello.
Hello.
Okay.
Supply us with whiskey.
So today we are drinking Mitcher's US 1 Single Barrel Strength Rye 2024. Directly from their website, it is a butterscotch and cinnamon with a hint of cherries on the nose, warming, rich, toasty vanilla and caramel up front with a dry oaky spice on the finish. The stats, the company is Mitcher's Distillery from Chatham Imports. The distillation is Undisclosed Distillery in Kentucky. It's a straight rye classification. at least 4 years it's been aged with a 55.4% proof or ABV and 110 proof.
Okay.
The mash bill is undisclosed, rumored low rye, and it goes for about $110 for 750 milliliters.
All right.
Well, it's got to be a low rye because I like it.
I like
like
it too. I thought it was really good, actually. This is no trick or treat. This is all treat for me. I tell you that. This is good.
You're really gonna go.
We're going with the Halloween theme. Yes, everything's trick or treat or spooky or this. Yeah, that's right.
I gotta let that bone go.
That's right. Oh, you should put on the other hat. Are you gonna put on your other hat that you had going on? We should do that during a commercial break.
Yeah,
you
Do a nice switchuroo.
I think I'll just leave that right there.
Okay,
Maybe I'll find somebody and hook them like Dead by Daylight.
Put them up on a chain.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Well, with our first,
real quick,
hang on.
Mark does say, please do not forget to like and subscribe.
Oh,
In addition, please comment and let us know if you have a whiskey you would like us to review. Also, Heaven Can Wait. Drink responsibly.
Tell him to get back to his his whatever he's doing. His trick or treating.
His trick or treating event that he's at. All right. He's at a convention learning about technology, so I'm sure he's having a great time. All right. Well, with our first whiskey, well, maybe he's not having a good time. Maybe.
Conventions are where you usually drink.
That's right. With our first whiskey tasting complete, let's move on to our feature segment. Today, our technology expert, Nick Espinosa, is joining the show. He's an expert in cybersecurity and network infrastructure, and he's consulted with clients ranging from small business to the Fortune 100 level. In 1998, at the age of 19, Nick founded Windy City Networks, which was later acquired in 2015. He then created Security Fanatics, where he is the chief security fanatic. We welcome Nick to the Comcast video stream to start our next segment.
Welcome to the segment we call Ask the Experts, with our TechTime radio expert, Nick Espinosa.
All right, Nick, welcome to the show. You know, this is our tradition. You have been on every single TechTime Radio's Halloween edition. And you know what? It was coming on up. I just came back from Japan, and we're putting things together. And I apologize for sending out a late invite. Thank you for making sure you can attend. This is our tradition that we enjoy immensely. Let me tell you that. Now,
no, happy to be here. Always enjoy this one. This was always a fun one.
This is because we're going to talk about the scariest stories. And it was...
episode.
Was that?
This is the Drink More episode.
This is a Drink More episode. Now, what's interesting is that you would think that these stories were throughout the whole year, but most of these stories are just recent and are still some of the scariest stories of the year. So that's
And I went back looking. I'm like, okay, let's see what I can find for the year. Since the last Halloween. And sure enough, they're all from like the last 2 weeks. I was like, oh my God.
So it just gets...
I don't know what that says about next week, but here we go.
There you go. That's right. With the political stuff, we're going to be talking about that. Well, let's talk with a subject that's really sucky. So robot vacuums. You like how that little pun there? There you go. There you go. Robot vacuums have been hacked, and the attackers are yelling these through the speakers. Nothing like an eerie sound coming out of a vacuum in a closet late at night. Explain what is going on.
Yeah. So this is an interesting one, and quite frankly, a little bit terrifying if you've got kids, because robot vacuums across multiple U.S. cities were actually hacked in basically the space of a few days, and the attacker was physically controlling them. And to your point, it was yelling obscenities through the onboard speakers. Now, what we're talking about is a robot vacuum, not iRobot, that is now owned by Amazon, but a Chinese-made one called EcoVax that apparently we're buying in the United States. And here's a fun example, as reported by the ABC. Now, Daniel Swenson, who apparently is a lawyer in Minnesota, was watching TV, we're going to assume the Vikings, when his robot started to malfunction. Quote, it sounded like a broken up radio signal or something. You could hear snippets, maybe a voice. So he thought basically something was screwed up. He checked the app, saw that somebody was accessing his live camera feed and remote control feature for his robot. So he reset his password, rebooted the robot, and of course it started to move almost immediately again. And then a voice started screaming racial slurs through the robot speakers at his 13-year-old son. So good times on that. This is obviously another case of just, a cheap Chinese product that is a knockoff of, something that just doesn't have good vulnerability control, because people are getting into these things left and right.
So do you have an actual model number of which unit that was?
Yeah, it was like the Deets 9X or something along those lines. I don't have it in my notes, but yeah, it was like the DEETS 9, something like that.
So it wasn't a Roomba or a standard.
Not a Roomba, Ecovacs.
Okay.
Like if you have an basically if you have an Ecovacs robot vacuum, you want to check this out. I don't care what your model is. Odds are the vulnerabilities everywhere.
Okay.
I'm a little split on whether that. I mean, that would be kind of a fun prank to do. Right.
Do you want to be on the other side where you start talking to people?
Yeah,
but
driving somebody's vacuum around and yelling at them.
Yeah.
Maybe not obscenities, but
yeah. But this happened to Google just before the pandemic, where people had insecure Nest, like the Nest cameras and thermostats, and attackers were breaking into Google accounts and taking it over. And there's like literally a recorded video of this guy talking to like a 3-year-old little girl in her crib about how he's Santa Claus,
wow.
and all these kinds of things, which is a terrifying prospect if you're a parent, right? You don't want some jerk talking to your toddler, telling them they're Santa Claus or Jesus or whatever it was. And so it really just underscores that we need good controls in our life when it comes to our cloud-based technologies.
Imagine, your Roomba coming up to you and going, "Hi, I'm Chucky."
That would be
well. I mean, if I was controlling it, I'd say kill all humans, but
there you go. No, I mean, but you know what? That's what happens sometimes when you buy cheap stuff online. So if you don't know where you're buying it from and you buy yourself a cheap vacuum, you kind of you got to be careful where you're buying your stuff from. I mean, even cables on Amazon. If you buy cheap cables for 3D stuff and video cameras or especially audio stuff, if you get it really cheap, I mean, there's a chance that they can have some knockoff stuff out there. A, that normally doesn't work good, but two, that can be doing recording and screen caps and a lot of different stuff. So you got to know where you're buying your stuff from. All right, moving on. We have an election that's coming up. I don't know if you've heard about that, but it seems to be getting some news about that in the across the nation. And all of a sudden, we have some conspiracy theories that are popping up, of course, with any election that you have. But it does seem that the Trump and Harris campaigns have been targeted. Explain what is happening here, Nick.
Yeah. And interestingly enough, my daily video and podcast today was on Facebook, helping essentially the extremists with their coordination for after the election. So this is obviously very close to home, right? And we are almost at the election. But here's what's happening. Both the Trump and Harris campaigns have been targeted directly for their cell phones. And according to the Associated Press, Chinese hackers engaged in a broader espionage operation against Donald Trump, obviously running as a Republican, his running mate, J.D. Vance, and then people associated with the Democratic campaign of Kamala Harris. And it's not 100% clear, at least nobody's saying, what data might have been accessed or taken, because this is an ongoing investigation. And the FBI statement did not confirm the identities of the individuals in both camps and both campaigns by virtue of that. But they said they were investigating a, quote, unauthorized access to commercial telecommunications infrastructure by actors affiliated with the People's Republic of China. And I think it's important to remember, for the record, that when former President Trump was in office as President Trump, he refused to trade in his personal mobile phone for a secure one. Because remember, like the NSA, CIA, they secure phones. This was a whole stink with President Obama back in the day. And apparently Chinese intelligence was able to break in to then President Trump's personal phone that he was using to tweet all the time, as we know he did. And so this isn't the first time he's been targeted, right? He's been targeted multiple times. And there's also no doubt that Vice President Harris, and she's the current vice president, has also had her share of attempts. But as far as we know, they've been unsuccessful. And as far as we also know, she traded in her personal phone for the secure phone that our government leaders typically have. So take that for what it's worth, and good luck to us all next week.
Was that?
Well, they're really. Maybe we should hack their whale shark.
Their whale shark in their aquarium?
And talk to the aquarium goers there and yell stuff at them.
Yell stuff.
There you go.
There you go. So Mr. Excited over here, Mr. Mike. He's going to be excited about this. The next one. Well, candidates will soon be commanders in chief of our military. And then what's really glad about that is at least we don't have any autonomous weapons that are out there like Terminator 2, or do we?
Oh, we do. And I should say they're starting to come. And we are actually not the first to deploy these. But here's what's happening. And here's the thing, because when it comes to autonomous weaponry, Silicon Valley has usually erred on the side of caution. And to be fair, the stance of the US government historically has been pretty ambiguous on the use of autonomous weapons. These are weapons, for the record, that can essentially make decisions for themselves and then execute. Like, oh, you are the enemy coming over the cliff. I'm going to shoot at you. Hopefully you're not a friendly, that kind of thing. But this mentality of ambiguity is starting to actually change. The US, for the record, does not ban any company here in the United States from actually making fully autonomous lethal weapons, and it does not explicitly ban them from selling things to foreign countries as well. And so let's talk about, to your point, Nathan, what I'm now calling Terminator 1.0, because why not? I'll meet you in the bunker in 5 years as we're shooting at these things. Now, last month, Palantir's co-founder and angel investor, his name is John Lonsdale, basically showed a willingness on stage to consider fully autonomous weapons, and Palantir would be one of those companies that would be pioneering this. So at an event, basically at the think tank Hudson Institute, Lonsdale presented a hypothetical where China had embraced AI weapons, but the US has to, quote, press the button every time it fires. And so by virtue of that, he encourages US policymakers to embrace a more flexible approach, if you will, to basically AI in weapons. Now, his other co-founder, Andrew Palmer Luckey, also had an openness to these kinds of weapons. And Luckey went one step further that I think should kind of terrify all of us, because during a talk earlier this month at Pepperdine University in California, he basically talked about U.S. adversaries that, quote, use phrases that sound really good in soundbite. Well, you can't agree with a robot that a robot should never be able to decide who lives and dies. And my point to them is, where's the moral high ground in the landmine that can't tell the difference between a school bus full of kids and a Russian tank? And so by virtue of that, here we are. And this isn't the first time we've seen this. The Russians are moving towards autonomous weaponry in their war in Ukraine. The Chinese are. The South Korean have deployed autonomous weapons along the demilitarized zone against North Korea. And obviously those are a lot more rudimentary than the more advanced AI we have now. So this is coming. Terminators are on their way, and the Ukrainians are working on AI drones. So a whole new world.
Ed 209. Remember, you know where that's from?
What's that?
Ed 209.
I do not. What's that from?
RoboCop.
You're a big RoboCop fan, aren't you?
It's one of the things that I watched. It was way ahead of its time when it came out.
Yeah. All right. Well, guess what? We got to end on a positive note here. So finally, the holiday season is upon us. So at least we have the peace and confidence that if we're searching websites on the web for holiday shopping, that we have nothing to be concerned about. Right, Nick?
Oh my God.
You know, why do I always have to be the Debbie Downer on this show? Can I just ask that question? Yeah, let's end on a positive note and talk about phishing.
Okay.
Because cyber criminals are now offering tools to help other cyber criminals basically help their own phishing pages avoid detection by our security controls and our security tools. Basically, these services are designed to prevent our security crawlers, meaning those threat detection companies that are looking for these phishing sites so they can add them to databases so we can't go there. They're basically have tools that are designed to prevent these crawlers from identifying phishing pages and therefore putting them on block lists. So by filtering out cybersecurity bots and essentially disguising phishing pages from these types of scanners, these tools essentially extend the lifespan of malicious sites. And to your point, we're coming up to the holiday season, so click here for that toy, that nobody could get, right? And you're going to have desperate parents looking for whatever the Tickle Me Elmo is this year, doing these kinds of things. And oftentimes their threat detection systems are relying on to block the phishing site, may simply not see it. That's the thing. And here's the issue for us good guys. These tools are easy to use. They allow any unskilled attacker to essentially increase their effectiveness of their attacks for a relatively low price. So happy shopping, everybody, because that's essentially what's happening here. And it's absolutely nuts.
All right.
Al, thanks.
Well, you feel much better?
The note to end on.
Not so much. I got boots on the
I need to go and get a Chinese vacuum cleaner.
So you can
now,
go home.
just so I can have somebody to talk to me while I'm in.
Happy to yell at you. Happy to yell at you when I get home.
All right, Nick. Well, it's always great to talk about. These are, of course, not only some of the subjects that you guys work on for your security. Tell everybody else how they can get in touch with you after the show, off show. How would somebody get in touch with you?
Yeah, absolutely. You can like, share, follow me on Facebook and Twitter at NickAESP or /Nick Espinosa. Follow me on YouTube as well. And I'm always putting out content. Always happy to hang out.
Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thanks, Nick.
I can't wait till next year's Halloween edition either. All right, there goes Nick. Thank you. Oh boy, isn't that positive to think about all those great things that are?
I'm just filled with positivity right now.
Are you?
Yeah, I came in complaining about technology. I'm going to leave swearing it all.
But you do have whiskey to drink during the show, so that will calm you down, right?
No, not really.
Not really.
It'll just make it easier for me to throw my computer across the room when I get home or whatever I'm going to do.
Well, but just be careful it doesn't hit that vacuum because it could be talking to you. All right. Well, that ends our Ask the Expert with Nick Espinosa. Now up, though, we have our gadgets and gear gal, Gwen Way.
What's new in our gadgets and gear?
All right. We're excited to have both Nick and Gwen on the show today. So I can't wait to have that taken care of. So let me just tell you, Gwen is coming to our Halloween special. She has a gadget and gear, and we want to have all the listeners kind of listen to see what we have going on here to see if this is something that is a great idea or not great idea. All right. Are we able to get Gwen up on the screen there? Gwen, is your camera on?
My camera is on, and it seems to be giving us problems. I consider this an absolute trick. Thanks, technology.
That's okay. We can hear from you here, so that's not a problem. We have you there.
The Chinese are looking.
They're taking care of you. So tell us what we have for our gadget and gear today.
So it's funny that Mike actually mentioned RoboCop earlier. I'm a big fan of late 80s, early 90s, just fun movies. And one of my favorites for this time of year is actually The Lawnmower Man.
Okay.
It's a great flick where a scientist who is focusing on neuro studies digs in, gets a helmet that can actually stimulate the brain waves. He originally tested on apes and then decides to test it on a human. Big problems occur because, of course, they do. But as a high schooler, when I first saw it, my first thought was, ooh, I want one of those. Well, guess what, ladies and gentlemen? You can get one now.
Okay. So what is this device? Let's talk about this device on Kickstarter. So this is a advanced brain computer interface. Is that correct?
That is correct. The name of the product is Broadmind. Their kind of catchphrase is unlock the power of your mind, which is pretty exciting and sounds amazing, exactly like in the movie. But exactly like in the movie, I think there are some problems with this device.
What is it supposed to do? That's what I'm unclear about.
It is supposed to take input directly from your brain and allow you to play games, utilize VR without actually having to move around and endanger pets, children, spouses, friends, family, furniture, whatever. So theoretically, you could put this on, you can sit on your couch, put your visor on, and be able to do all of the fun stuff in the game. Shoot, climb, slash, whatever you're doing. Without actually physically moving.
This is like Ready Player One.
So
basically.
So this is a device that we'll see if we can get Odie to actually put up the Kickstarter page, so we can actually take a look at this Kickstarter page. And essentially, it's a device that goes on the outside of your mind. Is that correct?
Exactly. It goes on your head. You just put it on over your hair. Okay. Just like normal, like you would wear a hat or something else. And you're able to suddenly control your computer with your brain.
Okay. All right. Now, so how many backers does this have? How much money has it raised? Where are we at so far on this?
So it actually has 183 backers, which surprises me somewhat, and has raised $141,000 of a $30,000 goal. So it is successful as far as all of that is concerned.
Okay. What is the company that is backing this?
There's where we get interesting. So the company is calling itself Broadmind, the same as the product.
Okay.
This is the first thing that they have offered. And I'm going to go in a little bit in detail to show you what you can look for to see things that are maybe too good to be true on Kickstarter.
Okay.
I think this one definitely falls in.
Are you saying that this isn't what they're saying it is?
Well, we do have it on the screen. So if you're looking at our live feed right now, we do have the item coming on up in our gadgets and gear area. You can take a look at the Kickstarter. So tell us more about this, Gwen, as we kind of scroll through the pictures and information online.
So there are a couple of things that you want to look out for. Number one, if you take a look at this product, it's showing up on your screen right now. Does that really look like a high quality product, or does it look like something somebody 3D printed?
It looks like a 3D printed device, doesn't it?
Now, if you're in the market for a 3D printed device, that's fine. But in this kind of case, that's probably not going to actually give you the functionality that they are promising.
Okay.
So
it says it's top quality, though. It says on the things, it says it's top quality and
materials that made it, maybe.
And you see a guy putting it on his head.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that neuroscience hasn't advanced this far yet. So I think this is probably bogus.
And I doubt very much that neuroscience is going to advance on Kickstarter.
Yeah, I don't think that. So Elon Musk is trying to develop a device.
Yeah, we already know.
He's spending millions of dollars paying somebody to have as a test subject. But this device right here is on Kickstarter, and it looks like it does exactly some of the same stuff. So continue on, Gwen. I'm just so excited about this because this guy, for a couple $100, I think I could do the same thing.
Exactly. It's $300 for the base model right now. You've got 5 more available at that price. Okay. That's actually one of the other things, though. You only had 3 different versions. You've got the base model that is only available in a limited amount, and then you've got the full model, which is available unlimited.
So is it the same? Is it the same device though, or is it a different, like a Rev A and a Rev B, or is it the same device and you have to pay to unlock it?
It's actually the same device. You do have to pay to unlock some features.
Oh boy.
The main difference with the larger price is that you've got access to what they are calling Broadmind SDK.
Oh, the software development kit.
Exactly. So you've got access to the software development kit if you pay the whole cost.
Okay.
Otherwise, it's pretty much the exact same thing.
So
that's $600 for a development kit, basically.
Okay, so the whole idea is that you put this on your head while wearing a virtual reality setup, and you sit and play video games like you do with a regular video game.
Exactly.
And your mind does all the controlling, and you don't have to look around and do whatever.
That's right. So if I'm playing the Sea of Thieves, I can just think I want to shoot you and line up, and I'm going to snipe you across the sea.
Okay, yeah, that makes total sense to me.
Does it?
Exactly.
Yeah,
so you can sit there on the couch, shooting people in Sea of Thieves and eat potato chips or whatever you want to do.
There's this movie called what is it, Click, where the guy has a universal remote.
Is that the Adam Sandler one?
Yeah, that's kind of the same one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anytime you're seeing something on Kickstarter that looks like something out of an Adam Sandler movie, it's probably not going to be the best way to go.
All right. So if we're doing a trick or treat,
it's targeting your occipital and parietal lobes of your brain, right?
Yes.
Exactly.
This is so dumb.
So
there are 183 dumb people that are giving these people money.
Yeah, I hope none of them are independent people that just decided to actually back this. So would you consider this then a trick or a treat?
Oh, this is very much a trick.
Okay.
And I am so glad that we had the opportunity to demonstrate to our listeners what to look for when you are checking things out on Kickstarter.
All right.
Well, I think it's been a real treat that we talked about this thing.
Yes, so that does say, we always talk about some great things on Kickstarter. Kickstarter is a platform where you help inventors create stuff. but it also is a great platform for scammers out there to come up with ideas and have you invest the money. And be careful, because if you're not putting it on your credit card and you're just putting it on a regular bank card, once you make this deposit, the deposit is final. So that money goes away. Kickstarter does not refund you.
So we're like getting a DeLorean online.
Well, okay. Hang on. Be nice there now. All right, Gwen. Well, thank you for coming on the show. It's always a pleasure talking about you, about new gadgets. And hopefully, I'm sure we have some coming on up for the holidays. And we'll have to make sure we send you a camera so that we can get you and see you next time on the show.
I think you should get one just to see what it looks, see what it actually does.
Buy this device?
Yeah.
It probably won't even massage your hair.
I don't have any hair, so it won't work on me.
That's probably one of the cheapest things that you'd lose your money on, too.
Wow. Okay. All right. Well, that ends our segment, Gadgets and Gear.
Smackdown for Bodie.
Up next, we have This Week in Technology. So now would be a great time to enjoy a little whiskey on the side, as we're going to be doing so during the break.
Bye, Gwen.
You're listening to Tech Time Radio with Nathan Mumm. See you in a few minutes. Hey, Mike.
Yeah, what's up?
Hey, so you know what? We need people to start liking our social media pages.
If you like our show, if you really like us, we could use your support on patreon.com.
Or is it Patreon? I think it's Patreon.
Okay, Patreon. If you really like us, you can.
And you say I'm the English guy?
Patreon.com.
I butcher the English language?
You know you butcher the English language.
Okay, so it's
all the time.
It's patreon.com.
Patreon.com. If you really like our show, you can subscribe to patreon.com and help us out.
Oh, and you can visit us on that Facebook platform. You know, the one that Zuckerberg owns?
The one that we always bag on?
Yeah, you can. We're on Facebook, too.
Yeah, like us on Facebook.
Do you know what our Facebook page is?
TechTime Radio.
At TechTime Radio. Yeah. You know what? There's a trend here.
It seems to be that there's a trend, and that's TechTime Radio.
Or you can even Instagram with us.
And that's at TechTime Radio.
That's at TechTime Radio. Or you can find us on TikTok.
And it's TechTime Radio.
It's at TechTime Radio.
Like and subscribe to our social media.
Like us today. We need you to like us.
Like us and subscribe. That's it?
That's it. That's that simple.
And now, let's look back at this week in technology.
All right. Welcome back to Tech Time with Nathan Mumm. That was a nice hat on you there, Mike, during the break. There you go.
That's my hook hat.
Okay. Now, let's talk about what happened on October 28th, 1998. The U.S. President Bill Clinton signs into law the Digital Millennium Copyright Act, the DMCA. The law is intended to criminalize production and dissemination of technology designed to cultivate digital copyright protection, known as the Digital Rights Management, or DRM. The DMCA is affected by the worldwide cryptography research community, since it's an argument can be made that crypto services violate the DMCA. The arrest of Russian programmers over the last couple of years was a highly publicized example of the laws used to prevent or penalize development of anti-DRM measures. That was This Week in Technology. If you ever wanted to watch some Tech Time history, with over 200 weekly broadcasts spanning 4+ years of video, podcasts, and blog information, you can visit us at techtimeradio.com to watch our older shows. We're going to take a commercial break. When we return, we have the Mark Mumble Whiskey Review. See you after the break.
Hello, my name is Arthur, and my life's work is connecting people with coffee. Story Coffee is a small batch specialty coffee company that uses technology to connect people to each product resource, which allows farmers to unlock their economic freedom. Try our Medium Roast Founder Series coffee, which is an exotic bourbon variety that is smooth, fresh, and elegant at storycoffee.com. That's STORI coffee.com. Today you can get your first bag free when you subscribe at storycoffee.com with code TechTime. That's STORI coffee.com.
The segment we've been waiting all week for, Mark's Whiskey Mumble.
All right, gentlemen.
Yes.
Okay. Do you know what we're celebrating today?
It's National Cat Day.
I'll give you a hint.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Sure. Oh, that's a modem. American Online.
Okay.
Okay, American Online modem.
So what
National
is today?
Dial-Up Day?
No. But it has something to do with the dial-up.
National
Phone Day?
No.
Modem Day?
No. Why did we dial up before?
To get to
Because
the internet.
we were idiots.
Okay, so
The creation of the internet?
it is
Was it
National Internet Day.
Oh. I thought Al Gore created the internet.
He
Shut
did.
up. Anyway.
Out of his lockbox. It is National Cats Day, too, because Alexa told me this morning.
Oh, did it really?
She can't tell me anything useful, so...
So you're like, all right, okay. So tell us about National.
So looking back at AOL's quaint "You've Got Mail" ads circa 1997, few could imagine what the internet would mean all these years later. We love the new thing called email, but could we imagine booking an entire overseas vacation on our phones at 3 a.m. or something called TikTok or the web's worldwide implications? No.
TickFlex.
So that. Anyway, that is today. So another product that comes to us from the 1990s is Mitcher's team that has been doing pioneering work to reestablish the high-quality American rye whiskey category.
Okay.
For maturation, the rye distillation is entered into the barrel at 103 proof rather than a more industry standard higher proof of 125. Barrel entry at a lower proof costs Mitchers more money in terms of barrels and warehousing, but they believe it yields a richer, smoother, more full-bodied whiskey after proper maturation.
Okay.
Most barrels in the releases range from 107 to 112 proof, straight from the barrel. To savor it, it is a unique experience for anyone who enjoys rye whiskey.
All right. So, Mike, you're not normally a rye guy, though.
No, I'm not a rye person.
But what do you think? What do you think of this?
This is really good.
This is really good, isn't it?
As my tastes for whiskey have progressed, my tolerance for rye has risen. So,
okay.
If it's a high rye, I don't do those very well. So I can pretty much guarantee this is a low rye one, low rye because it's not burning the crap out of my mouth.
So it's not necessarily the proof that you're worried about. It's the rye content in there.
It's the rye burn. I don't like the rye burn of most ryes.
All right. So tell us more, Mike.
So Mark absolutely loves this rye.
Okay.
He has nothing but praise for it. He wondered what Nathan and Mike would think, so he asked the internet. That is what it said, and parentheses. And Odie, do not gag while reading this, and parentheses. Mitcher's Barrel Strength Rye 2024 is likely to impress both Nathan and Mike from TechTime Radio. Given their appreciation for unique and robust whiskeys and the host's appreciation for distinctive tasting experiences, the 2024 release should appeal to these whiskey aficionados.
Oh yeah,
looking for strong character and a smooth finish.
Oh. Nice. Did he get that from Radio Krakow or from the whale shark in China, or maybe the Roomba
or ChatGPT? I mean, he could have got it from there too. I mean,
he got it from his vacuum cleaner. His vacuum cleaner yelled it at him while we were.
Is it now? Does he say if this is his top shelf or
he does not?
So my prediction. This is a top shelf. This is how much is it per bottle again?
Give me a moment. It is 110 for 750 milliliters.
Yeah, I think this is on his top shelf.
But I think it goes for 350 on the secondary market.
Oh, so this is one of the little marks I found it on the first market, and I'm selling it on the secondary market as I'm down in Las Vegas right now. Probably
is that where he's at? Yeah, is he in Vegas?
Yeah, he's out trick or treating at a conference.
That's right. He's having a good time there. Well,
if it's in Vegas.
Yeah.
There's a lot that's going to stay there.
That's right.
Right. And we're never going to know about it.
That's right. Thanks for the mumble. As always, whiskey and technology are a great pairing, just like Reese's peanut butter cups and Halloween.
Okay. That was a good one.
Okay.
Normally, these are really bad.
No, these are always really good. They just, there you go. All right.
Let's should have had some screwball today, too.
Oh, well, you know what? We have, since we're in our new Studio 400, right outside the studio door, there's a whole full bar setup. So afterwards, we can just drink and drink and drink.
We're going to have some screwball.
There you go. Okay. All right.
I saw an ad on TV about that.
Did you really? Okay. There you go. All right. Let's move on now.
Stop waving me off.
To our technology fail of the week.
We are out of time. Congratulations. You're a failure.
Oh. I failed. Did I?
Yes.
Did I?
Yes.
Did I?
Yes.
All right. Well, this week comes to us our failure from the BBC Weather app. The BBC Weather app forecasted hurricanes across the world. Fault with the BBC Weather website and app has led to incorrect forecasts and impossible high wind speeds in the UK and across the globe.
We're talking like 3,000 miles an hour.
There we go. Graphics warned of hurricanes and showed estimated wind speeds of 13,508 miles per hour in London and 5,294 miles per hour in Rome, far in excess of any genuine hurricane such as Milton, which reached not even 1/10 of those miles per hour, which struck Florida. Now, it also reported temperatures of 404 degrees Celsius. 100 degrees Celsius, I believe, is when you're melting. So it was 404 degrees
So
Celsius.
these countries don't exist
These
anymore?
do not.
No.
New York City doesn't exist.
Yeah, the Earth has finally had enough with all this stuff, and they're just wiping everybody out.
Sydney was at 378 degrees Celsius. So the BBC Weather said that they're aware of the data issue with a third-party supplier and are in the process of fixing the problem. So if you're jumping off a cliff right now because you're getting the BBC's weather app and it's telling you that you're going to be melted into smithereens, please let that go and continue on your way. All right. Well, now we got a couple minutes. What's that? We're saying something. You want to go to Nathan Nugget? Let's go to our Nathan Nugget.
This is your Nugget of the Week.
All right. We didn't know if we're going to get to the Nathan Nugget or not, but guess what? I just came back from Japan. So we're going to do a little debrief of my Japan.
All about it.
So we're dressed up as Mario. Now, I got a nice Mario guy here from the Nintendo store in Tokyo. You like that, Mr. Mario? We got it going around there. We're really excited about all the stuff that we have. Let me tell you about Japan. Japan was an interesting trip. Now, do you think of Japan as a technology country by default?
No.
It was not. And I was thinking for it as more of a technology country. And so I went there and most of the computers laying around, they were still selling i7s. And we have i9 computers and all new computers. So I was a little disappointed on some of the technology. But I will tell you this. They have stores that are 5, 6, 7, 8 stories tall that have over $40 million of inventory that are like Toys R Us and computers. And I was there with 2 other individuals. And we were doing a bunch of research for TechTime Radio and a bunch of other items at the same time. And I could literally stay in a store for about probably 6 to 7 hours that had the kind of like IKEA where they had food. So I could go and have food. I could sit down and play with my devices that I purchased. I could have electronics, amps, everything that you would ever think of, washer machines, luggage. As a matter of fact, I brought some whiskey wine back from the same store that I could buy toys from. And all these, they're called camera stores. All of them have camera stores, but what it is a big box store.
Big old Walmart.
Yeah, it's a Walmart times 3 with tons of storage, and all they do is they got stuff available there for electronics. So if you are kind of a geek and you want to go geek out, Tokyo is probably one of the greatest places to go buy little knickknack stuff and memory cards and all this other type of stuff. I'll have to show you what I got offline because I can't really show you some of the technology stuff that I bought online. But there you go. So there's some cool stuff there too. All right. Well, I think now we need to go into our pick of the day whiskey tasting.
And now our pick of the day for our whiskey tastings. Let's see what bubbles to the top.
All right, what do we have, Odie?
Today we are drinking Mitcher's Distillery from the Chatham Imports. This distillation is undisclosed distillery in Kentucky, classified as a straight rye, aged at least 4 years with 110 proof and 55.4% ABV.
All right. Well, thumbs up or thumbs down, Mike? What do you think?
Oh, this is definitely getting a thumbs up for me. This is really good. It's got a very nice, smooth taste and fruity undertones.
Okay.
It's really nice. Got a really good finish.
Yeah, we have.
I am literally talking about a rye whiskey.
Yeah, I can't believe that. Do you know what's really interesting is, although Mark likes it a lot, look how much we have left over. You know,
we're gonna finish the bottle.
I think maybe we can have that a little bit
Mark,
after.
you're not getting this bottle.
There you go. Okay.
Oh, okay.
We're gonna drink it as soon as we
The ghouls are gonna take it.
That's right. I'm gonna give it a thumbs up. Also, I thought it was really good. I thought this is absolutely would be a top shelf whiskey. I like the bite. I'm kind of a big. I do like rye as long as I don't get that initial bite and it stays. I like the bite that comes and then it kind of palates out, and so you're not having to worry about it too much any other aspect for that. Well, I think we are just about out of time here. So
Can I ask you a question about
Sure.
Japan real quick?
Yes.
Did you really notice any of the wardrobe choices over there?
So
Or is that something you don't pay attention to?
So I did
Do you
notice.
know him?
So
Fashionista is not one of his words.
No,
right, but they have a very distinct
like the
wardrobe.
pagodas. Is that what you're trying to say? That the
No.
word?
No, she's asking if you see any golf shorts over there.
Oh, so there is a lot of schoolgirl outfits. I don't know what else to call them, but they're like the high skirt outfits. Everybody seems to wear those with the high nylon type of stuff. Yes. So, but yeah. Wow, Mike. Okay, is that what you were asking for, Odie? If I saw any of the high skirt outfits?
I mean, I guess.
Okay, but you got to remember.
Were you really interested in schoolgirl? What were you interested in?
Well, I just know that they have a very high sense of fashion over there. But they've also got they're very into anime over there.
So they are. I was sitting on. I was sitting on a bus. A 70-year-old guy is reading anime.
Yeah,
I couldn't believe that. I was like, "What the heck?" It's like a cartoon he's reading there, and he had a great time. So yes. Well, I will tell you that if you haven't been to Japan, you should at least go there once in your lifetime. It's probably worth taking care of. I don't know if I would go to all the locations. Well, don't go with me.
Yeah, I wouldn't go with you.
I was a little bit of a stick on the mud, so I was kind of just.
Which is very, American of you.
Was it very American of me? I will say that the bus system in Google works really good.
That was very Nathan.
You want technology? Google will tell you which bus to take at which time. Unbelievable. Not a single mistake there. Well, we want to thank everybody for listening to our show today. Thank you for our new Studio 400. Remember, I'm your host, Nathan Mumm, with Micro Day, signing off with a binary wink. See you next week.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for joining us on TechTime Radio. We hope that you had a chance to have that moment today in technology. The fun doesn't stop there. We recommend that you go to techtimeradio.com and join our fan list for the most important aspect of staying connected and winning some really great monthly prizes. We also have a few other ways to stay connected, including subscribing to our podcast on any podcast service, from Apple to Google and everything in between. We're also on YouTube, so check us out on youtube.com/techtimeradio, all one word. We hope you enjoyed the show as much as we did making it for you. From all of us at TechTime Radio, remember, Mumm's the word. Have a safe and fantastic week.